Ever since Secrets of Strixhaven came out, I've been dying to try out Tragedy Feaster, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Playing a little bit of Mono Black Demons, best of one standard. Going to be having some fun with this big monster of a card. It is a 7/6 demon for 4 mana. It comes with trample, and it has a very powerful ward ability. Ward, discard a card. So this thing's going to be pretty annoying for the opponents to get rid of. But it does come with a bit of a downside. It has this infusion ability. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice a permanent unless you've gained life this turn. So of course we are a demons deck, so we do have some ways of gaining life. Of course we are playing 4 copies of the Unholy Annex. Everybody knows what this thing is by now. If we get this on the field with a demon, we're going to be gaining life, mitigating the downside of the Tragedy Feaster. We're also playing 4 copies of the Deep Cavern Bat. This thing is not a demon, but it is a flying life-linking creature that's going to disrupt the opponent's hand. Going to be pretty great to also get rid of the downside of the Tragedy Feaster. And then maybe the card or the package that is a little bit unfamiliar to some of you Demons players out there. I'm sure you're all very aware of it because I have tried it in the past, but we're bringing back old Abigale, Eloquent First Year. It is a 1/1 for 2 bird bard with flying, first strike, and lifelink. So it also can get in like the Deep Cavern Bat and gain us a little bit of life so that the Tragedy Feaster is satiated. But it also has another ability. When it enters, up to 1 other target creature loses all abilities, and we put a flying counter, a first strike counter, and a lifelinking counter on that creature. So of course we can do that to the Tragedy Feaster, turning it into a 7/6 flying, lifelinking, first striking creature. That's pretty powerful. Or we can do it to the Demon Wall, a 3/3 for 2 mana demon, or the Rot Curse Rakshasa, a 5/5 for 2 demon. All 3 of these targets would be absolutely fantastic to hit with the Abigale's ability. Then to round out the creatures in the deck, we have 3 copies of the Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Originally, when I made this deck, I was messing around with Madame Null, but Madame Null's downside, or well, thing that she does, was a little bit of a risk to this deck. We don't want to be throwing down a Tragedy Feaster, paying 7 life to make it a 14 power thing, which is kind of cool. But then it just gets hit by some simple removal, and now we're down 7 life. So Madame Null is out. She's over in, well, no more in the sideboard. Bye-bye, Madame Null. And we have just replaced it with another copy of the Bloodletter of Aclazotz. I was originally only playing 2 of this, but everybody knows what this demon does. It's insane. For the rest of the deck, we are just playing some interaction. We have 2 copies of Duress, 4 copies of Requiting Hex, and then 4 copies of Bitter Triumph. It might be a good idea, maybe like bump this down, go up to here or 1 here, but I'm going to leave it the way it is, assuming I'm going to run into a whole bunch of creature-based strategies. Wish me luck. So we're going to hop into the arena, try it out, and hopefully see what the Tragedy Feaster can do. See you over in the games. All right, Demons in Standard. We are going to try to climb up a little bit. We've lost a lot of ranks on the old ladder here, playing some very questionable things once I hit Mythic. Once I stopped leaning on my crutch of Slick Shot Show Off, the old Rankaroonie kind of dropped a bit. But that's okay. We're going to play some Unholy Annex. This is Black's crutch, and we're going to see if it is as good as Red's crutch. Hopefully, trying to get a little bit of luck going on here. Appears we're against somebody who's doing the landfall deal, though. I don't know how well we do against landfall. Ooh, maybe not landfall. So I do have a choice here. I could have obviously gone into their hand with the Deep Cavern Bat, but I think the upside of going Rot Curse Rakshasa into Unholy Annex is just a little bit too tempting. Gotta try to take full advantage of that. And I don't know what the opponent is possibly on. You wonderful person. Wow, what a timely... No attack? Thanks. Ooh, what? Duress to take Duress? What does that mean? Does that mean the opponent has... That means the opponent has something in their hand that they absolutely do not want me taking. Which means that I kind of want to take a peek into their hand to see what they got over there. Show me. Show me the devastating thing that's coming down the pipeline that I absolutely have to be terrified of. Zombify? Terra of Mount Velis, boys. Are we aware of what the opponent's doing here? Because I'm not. What I'm assuming is I take the Zombify, because that looks like the combo piece that I need to be most afraid of. And what we're going to do is throw down the Abigale. The Abigale is going to turn our Rot Curse Rakshasa into something a little bit more powerful. I'm assuming that they're going to do their Dina's Guidance here. Or I guess they do the Rakshasas bargain too. But we are going to take them down to 11. And we have them not quite dead on the net. Oh, no, we do. Technically, because we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage available to us. So if they do this turn setting up or just dirtling about, maybe the opportunity is there. However, they did do this one. So they searched the library for a creature card and they put it into their hand. They revealed it. What was it? Hang on. Search your library for a creature card. Oh, Raph and Mikey. But why? Why would you pilfer away the Bitter Triumph and not the Unholy Annex? So now they have this. Return target non-land. Okay, they can bounce something. They have to do that, though. So do they bounce it? It doesn't actually matter what they... Okie dokie. We're starting off shaky. Opponent playing... something very strange. It's definitely like a combo deck that's trying to do Raph and Mikey into the Terra Mount Velis, which creatures you control gain double strike. They want to double strike with the Raph and Mikey, and this thing, it does all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay. Did not expect that for my first matchup with demons. Okay. Let's see if we can... Ooh, okay, so we got a nice 2, 3, 4. We can actually get the Tragedy Feaster, maybe going with the Unholy Annex on the field, gaining life with hopefully both of these creatures on the field. Now, Disaster can absolutely strike with this deck if we get the Tragedy Feaster onto the field and something happens to our Unholy Annex, or something happens... Well, no, I guess it would have to happen to the Unholy Annex, because we'll always have the Tragedy Feaster on the field. If they remove the Tragedy Feaster and we're just losing 2 life to the Unholy Annex, that's fine. At least we're not going to be doing the infusion part of the Tragedy Feaster. But man, isn't this card cool? I'm so glad I'm finally playing it. I want to see what it can do. I got this awesome art for it, and yeah, it's just a cool card. All right, so the opponent put a Splinter onto the field. They're doing ninja stuff. What are we running into this evening? This is just some weird stuff. We got ninjas. We got Raph and Mikey and the Demons of Velis. Or not demons, the Dragons of Velis coming at us. We're playing some Tragedy Feaster. Definitely off-meta stuff. So off-meta everywhere. And we're going to see if we can get a Tragedy Feaster onto the field and maybe attacking in. They got removal for... Ooh, it's a good card. Karai Technique. That hurts. The opponent takes some damage. Oh boy. So let's play it a little bit cowardly. Glad I played a little bit cowardly. And we're going to put the Demon Wall out. And I don't know... We're definitely going to be using this Requiting Hex at some point to remove probably the Cecil. Splinter is a nasty fella. But, if they attack in like this, and I block the Demon Wall, the Cecil with the Demon Wall, and then I kill the Splinter with the Requiting Hex, I get rid of everything, then I can put down my Tragedy Feaster. That seems okay to me, right? Okay, let's try. So Splinter down. I don't want them putting Shredder on the field. Original Shredder. Boom. Okay, so they go down to 9. They don't flip their Cecil because Cecil's gone. And now we follow this up with a Tragedy Feaster. The Tragedy Feaster with the Unholy Annex means we gain life, mitigate the infusion, and we are in a happy place. Next turn, we can also go out with another Unholy Annex. And the opponent playing ninjas. I respect it. I'm playing at a strange time. I am playing at... It must be like 4 a.m. North America. So we're probably going to hit a lot of other side of the world opponents doing some fun stuff. I just stubbed my toe when I got up to get some water. Boy, oh boy, does that hurt. Oh, okay. Unholy Annex, Bloodletter of Aclazotz, a little bit of hand disruption. What is not to love about something like this? What do you guys think about demons? Do you think demons actually have a spot in the meta right now? Or, I hate to say it, but are like demons a little bit too honest for the game these days? As crazy as that might actually sound. Oh. Oh, gross. Oh. I feel like I just stepped in. You know what? Big old turd on the side of the road. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't know the news, Kavaro is disappearing in like 3 or 4 weeks. Kavaro, we probably will never have to see this bad breath stinking card ever again. And instead, we're going to see Superior Spider-Man because they're going to not redo, but re-release the Marvel cards. I guess they won some or got some agreement with Marvel or whatever, and they're allowed to actually put the original Marvel cards onto Arena. So no more Through the Omen Paths for at least the Marvel stuff. Maybe they're canning Through the Omen Paths entirely. I'm not sure. But as far as I understand, we are going to be getting retroactively the Spider-Man set. And then we are going to be getting the actual Marvel Heroes set coming out next month. So we'll get to play with Captain America and Wolverine, maybe. I don't know if Wolverine will be around. And everybody else. And Superior Spider-Man. Woo! All right, so the opponent is probably going to Kavaro next turn, bouncing whatever they want back to our hand. So we'll put out the Tragedy Feaster. It doesn't matter. At least if they want to bounce the Tragedy Feaster, they're going to have to discard a card as well. But I have a feeling that this Kavaro Dimir deck probably just absolutely dunks on what I'm doing with this deck. It's, we're just putting out one demon at a time. They're doing nasty Kavaro things. We're never going to be able to keep up with the insane value that they're going to be putting onto the field. But yeah, I will be happy to never see this art again, and I will be complaining fully about the annoyance of Superior Spider-Man. Who is, by the way, it is Superior Spider-Man, right? I'm almost certain. And Superior Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken, is Dr. Octavius, I think. Am I wrong? Let me know about that. Who is Superior Spider-Man in the comics? Who am I going to start complaining about next? I'm just glad this face is going to disappear because I hate it so much. What? The opponent did the deceit thing. So what are they going to get rid of? They get rid of course, the Unholy Annex. So the cool thing is, but they had, did they make a mistake? I think they may have made a mistake. Well, cool. Heck yeah. Let's put out Curse Rakshasa. Let's put out Tragedy Feaster. Tragedy Feaster going in for 7. You're going to put a Kavaro. That's a cute 4/4. They must have mistapped their mana because they didn't have a chance to remove something from our hand. And you know what? It wouldn't have really mattered because we did end up top decking an Unholy Annex anyways. But if we didn't top deck the Unholy Annex, and if they did reach into our hand to get rid of this Unholy Annex, this Tragedy Feaster would have been ruining me because it would have been on the field and I wouldn't have had any way of gaining life. So getting rid of the Unholy Annex is an absolute must if you are going up against a Tragedy Feaster and they're leaning on the Unholy Annex. You remove this thing and then we're sacrificing swamps, and that's going to be a real feels bad, man. I don't want to be in that position. By the way, killer land. I love that one. Okay, that's stock up. We do have the Bloodletter of Aclazotz, so if they do not find an absolute miracle card with this 2 mana that they have available to them, they are going to be in trouble. I don't know what they're going to do here. Also wondering, maybe I should have put down the Soulstone Sanctuary at some point. Requiting Hex, pretty good. It's not good enough, opponent. GG? I say apprehensively. Tragedy Feaster gets the win over Deceit Kavaro. My goodness, that feels good. I did not expect to win that one. Had they even done the Kavaro properly, I think we still would have got there. But yeah, that's validating, isn't it? So how were your weekends? Let's do a little bit of chit chat. I'm actually in a good mood. It's Saturday for me. I'm getting this recorded, ready for Monday, and I'm actually on a 3-day weekend. Thank you, Buddha. If you didn't know, Buddha's birthday happening this weekend. So get to celebrate that over here. And gonna go to an island tomorrow. Gonna go see a temple that was built in the 7th century, according to... Oh, no! So I'm going to go to a temple that was built in the 7th century. Oh, the opponent didn't put down the Badger Mole Cub? Okay, we have another chance to get rid of the Badger Mole Cub. That was a big misclick. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully, I had a really good time going there. I'm about to not have a really good time getting murdered by things. Oh, man, misclicking that and taking the Mightform Harmonizer is real bad. I gotta work on my micro, I guess. So what am I doing here? Am I using the Bitter Triumph to kill the Badger Mole Cub, or am I slamming one of these cards? And I think it's probably just go in with the Deep Cavern Bat and hit them with the Bitter Triumph, hit the Badger Mole Cub. I can't allow that thing to be on the field, right? Somebody's car alarm, or I think somebody is incredibly angry, and I just hear their horn blaring. I think I can lose 3 life. I'm okay losing 3 life. So we'll do this. And I'm going to... this is actually pretty good news, because the Royal Treatment is sitting there, but they don't have the mana to protect the Badger Mole Cub. So we do get to get rid of it. They do have now the Fable Passage, so this Shaz's Chocobo can get up to a 4/5. Yeah. 5/6 if they really wanted to. But next turn, we get to put down the Tragedy Feaster. We get to start going in with the Deep Cavern Bat, keeping the Tragedy Feaster satiated. But if we lose the Deep Cavern Bat, we're in trouble. I wonder how this game would have actually shaken out had I grabbed the Badger Mole Cub right from the start. Like, the Badger Mole Cub was definitely the grab there, right? There was no reason for me to grab the Mightform Harmonizer if I were going after their mana sources. I don't think. Then again, the Mightform Harmonizer's how I die. All the cards in this. In the last video that I put out, it was the Azorius Flyers Flash deck. And there were some people that made comments, fantastic comments. By the way, thank you. All the comments on that video, lots and lots of people, consistently, tons of people commenting on videos. I think in general, Magic views seem to be like just kind of down across the board. I kind of look at other creators and I kind of notice that quite a few channels have a little bit lower video views. Not such a big deal. We're still hitting about 1,000 on each video, which is my ultimate goal. If I hit 1,000 on each video that I put out, I'm pretty happy with that achievement. But yeah, that hurts. Some people were saying that, like, you know, cards like Erode. Oh, man. I'm going to just take too much damage and die, right? I don't want to be chump blocking with the Bloodletter of Aclazotz. So let's go in with both of these. They basically said that you really got to save your removal for when it's absolutely necessary, right? And of course, you got to save your removal for when it's necessary. So if you have an Erode and you're firing off an Erode super early in a game, then it's probably going to be a pretty bad situation for you, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to set the opponent, you're going to snowball the opponent. But my counter argument to that argument is that so many cards in the game right now that come down on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Hello, 7, 8, 8, 9. Shaz's Chocobo. Cards that come down on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 need to be removed. There are so few cards in the game, like Demon Wall. Fantastic. Great, very well designed card. Demon Wall comes down for 2 mana. It's a 3/3. People are like, I don't really want to remove this thing because it's a Demon Wall. The opponent had a Reclamation Sage for my Demon Wall. How absolutely timely for that. Like, again, people. I don't know what's going on in this video. This is some of the weirdest gameplay that I've recorded in such a long time. But the point is that there are cards. Every card in the game is so powerful that you feel like you have to remove it as soon as it hits the field, which means that your choices of when to use your Seam Rips, when to use your Erode, when to use whatever removal that you have available to yourself is kind of removed in large part, because, like, yeah, you can maybe save it for the next big thing. Yeah, I could save my removal for the Mossborn Hydra that was going to kill me. But, like, this is a 13-12 baby Chocobo. That's a 1-drop that became a lethal attacker on whatever turn this is. So, like, it's just such a weird position that Standard is in right now because everything is so cracked. And so you got to fire off your removal when you have it. And if you don't have 4 pieces of removal when you need exactly 4 pieces of removal, kind of die. Okay, Lolo is our 5th opponent. I don't know how deep I'm going. These games are a little bit longer, I think. This hand looks bad, right? We're not doing anything with that hand. This looks a little bit more playable. Am I keeping... I think I'm going to keep the Deep Cavern Bats. If I do end up finding the Abigale, I can put the Abigale maybe on... Oh, why? 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 Oh, okay. I'm wrong. I'm misjudging. You know, you see Fable Passage and your mind immediately goes to Forest and like, Badger Mole Cub time. Oh, it's all so nasty. All right, let's get rid of the cards that are playable. What does Jill do? Return up to one other non... Okay, well, hey, look who showed up. That's kind of cool. So I guess what they're going to do is they're going to end up putting out Jill, and they're going to bounce... double the end. That's not great. They're going to end up bouncing one of the Deep Cavern Bats. So they'll have a Jill on the field, but I guess I can then follow it up with a Deep Cavern Bat one more time, take the Unstoppable Slasher, make sure they don't have that in their hand. Kind of a card that's going to be... I think these slashers are going to be a bit of a problem for me. Does this have flash? No. So why did they pass the turn there? That makes me a little worried. Okie dokie. Is it possible that they have a board wipe? Did they draw a board wipe? Land. And now they have the end. They can use the end on the Tragedy Feaster. That's going to be pretty good for them. What does Jill say? Return up to one other non-land permanent. Okay, so they are hitting the Tragedy Feaster, but we get to see the Tragedy Feaster's ability, you know, being a little bit annoying, making them discard something, and now they get to go in and take out my other Tragedy Feasters. That sucks, but at the same time, I did find a Bloodletter of Aclazotz, which means I could put it out, and then they're probably going to hit it with the end. So I do 4 points of damage this turn, and then next turn I probably just turn on a Soulstone Sanctuary and go in. They're going to take my Bloodletter. Maybe it was turning on the Soulstone Sanctuary and making them do the end on one of the Deep Cavern Bats. I'm not sure. This is a weird game, to say the least. So they have all of our top end, but we have all of our creatures. Creature lands, that's what I meant to say. And they are down to 8. We're at 27, pretty comfortable. We can maybe get, I don't know, maybe get the job done. What does this Kaido even do? Makes a ninja? Okay. Well, let's see what their last card is. And it's a land. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this Soulstone Sanctuary into a pretty good attacker. And we will remove the Kaito. And now the opponent is in top deck mode. They need to find something. What an interesting deck from the opponent. They need to wipe our board, and they need to deal with our Soulstone Sanctuaries. And Azure Beastbinder is not going to get there. Okay. Got some rogue deck action going on here. Oogie. Standard is so much more fun when people are playing unexpected, weird stuff, I think. I don't know. I don't. Okay, yeah. Unholy Annex again. Not so weird, but I mean, Tragedy. Nobody's playing Tragedy Feaster. Nobody's playing Elegant First Year Abigale, right? This is kind of cool. Ooh, okay. I think we know what the opponent's up to. Molt Tender usually means that enchantment that makes a whole bunch of babies. I have no idea what's going on. These cards are okay. Whatever this card. Who is this? Kerr the Third. Okay, whenever this creature becomes saddled for the first time each turn, mill 2 cards, Then this creature gets +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Cool. Sure. I have no idea. I'm going to take the town greeter to maybe stop them from having land drops. They might have some problems finding lands if that's the case. This is also very cool art. I really wish they would put this stuff back in the store. This is my jam, this kind of art. Somebody commented and said that, and I don't remember if I brought this up in a video, said that this art, I've been using this art since I got it because I absolutely love it. Somebody said that it is ugly. Can you believe that? The nerve saying that old border cards are ugly? Everyone's got their preferences. That's fine. I'm also an enjoyer of white border cards, and I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who are not such big fans of white border cards. We do have to be a little bit careful. They do have the Imodane's Recruiter coming down, which is going to turn all of these 1/1s and whatever company into some pretty powerful cards. So I do have to be aware of maybe just getting smacked in the face very soon. Man, the high 80s, low 90s is such a fun place to play Magic. You just start to see the neatest stuff, I think. People doing these weird strategies that have caused them to drop down into the 80s, because obviously most of these decks that I've been showcasing, that you run into the Badger Mocub deck and you're just like, well, I guess I'm dead now. But when you get these interesting matchups, this is, I don't know, some cool stuff can happen. And the opponent probably going to try to Alpha Strike us with the Imodane. I don't know what other choice they really have other than, yeah, I don't know. They're in a weird spot. Rumble Belt Maverick. They can exile it from the graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on something, so they can get in for a pretty good attack, but they're not getting through the 7/6 Tragedy Feaster, unfortunately. All right. Now we have a couple of options, ways to go about doing this. I kind of want to do the Abigale thing. Yeah, I could throw down the Bloodletter of Aclazotz and Bloodletter time, but I think this is so much cooler. Boom. Heck yeah. Big boy coming in. Big boy on the roof. If you know, yeah, Tragedy Feaster is in fact the big boy on the roof. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and head on over to YouTube and just search "big boy on the roof," and you're gonna have a fun time watching a pretty fun video. You enjoy that. It is beautiful art. All right, this stubborn Boro Fiend getting pretty big. Thankfully, Abigale first striking helps a little bit with the Thespian. And the opponent doing pretty cool stuff, but obviously not really holding up with Tragedy Feaster and Unholy Annex. I'm out here. I'm the tryhard. Unholy Annex. That's cool. I don't know what's going on here. I really expected the Golgari enchantment. I cannot remember the name of it, but when a creature leaves your graveyard, you create a plant that can generate mana. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have it popped up somewhere, but I really expected that. Maybe they had it in the deck. Don't know. That deck does roots, Insidious Roots. I got there. I did not look that up. I did that all on my own. I promise. The Insidious Roots deck does go awfully wide. What? Okay. Okay. I don't know what to even make of this. Let's grab the Burst Lightning. So having the Imodane's Recruiter with the Insidious Roots does kind of make sense, right? Okay, I'm going to save the Abigale. I would like to, in a way, run it out, but there's no... Like, I'm going to need it to gain some life. The opponent is going to do so much damage to me very soon. And also, we are going to take the risk of throwing the Unholy Annex onto the field. I have 2 draws. I need to find a demon. I have 1 draw. Hopefully, it shows up. The opponent seems to be a little bit stuck on mana, though. So maybe we take this time to get rid of Oh, I did say I needed to find a demon, didn't I? I just wasn't careful with my words. Let's get rid of the noble here. It sucks that I have to pay 1 mana. But what other choice do I have? Okay, I did say I needed to find a demon. Okay, I needed to find one of the 2 CMC demons. There are a few in the deck. Also, lands would have been okay. Then I could have maybe got up to the ritual chamber. But that didn't help. Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 So we can stabilize. Tragedy Feasters onto the field. We gain a bit of life. We go up to 8. Fantastic draw. That's a house alarm or announcement. So I'm not sure if the apartment announcement was getting picked up on the microphone. I don't think it was, but I decided just to stay quiet during the announcement. Hey, cool little win there. I think we were going to gain so much life with the Tragedy Feaster from the Abigale power up. So we were probably in pretty good shape there. But the announcement was about some naughty person smoking in the bathroom. So, hey, if you're in your bathroom smoking, don't do that. We are against Bugface again. Bad breath, whatever you want to call him. I hate you. But we are also against elementals, so that's kind of cool. The opponent playing elementals, traditional elementals deck. I don't really mind Kavaro so much in this build of the deck, although this looks. Oh, never mind. It's just I saw wistfulness and I thought, oh, this person's doing something unique. Nah, they're just bringer deck. Okie dokie. Well, we're gonna use the Deep Cavern Bat to grab the wistfulness. What did they put this on? Avatar. So Avatar, why would they put that on Avatar? Interesting. I still think I'm gonna grab the wistfulness just to stop them from maybe finding lands. I mean, this is all gonna come down to whether or not the top of the opponent's library is absolutely dreadful to them or not so dreadful. And now we get turn 4 Tragedy Feaster, and then we get to hit them with the turn 5 Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Maybe that's okay. It's probably just not quite enough damage. Unfortunately, the Demon Wall not being an attacker really puts a kind of a problem, right? So the opponent now is 1 land away from finding the Kavaro. If they get the Kavaro, we die. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Which we've been good. It's been a good run. Actually, I did finish 7 games. We went 6-1 with those 7 games, but they did go relatively quickly. So I decided, why not? We'll play a little bit more. There is the land. So next turn we are officially dead. So all I get to really do is put Bloodletter of Aclazotz onto the field and swing in for a good amount of damage. But they get to mitigate enough of it, even if they took the whole. Oh no, they do need to block something. Do they have removal as well? The last card is like a Bitter Triumph, maybe? It's a Deceit. Okay. So they want to bounce something and maybe trigger the Tragedy Feaster. Yeah, so they want to put the Formidable Speaker into the graveyard, probably. Ooh, the Kavaro. Ooh, if we hit a Deep Cavern Bat here, we could actually ruin their plans so well. However, they are making an 8/8 Kraken here. So that's bad. I'm gonna do this. Why not? No. Okie doke. Well, I'm not gonna give the opponent the satisfaction of doing the Kavaro thing. We're just gonna move on with our lives. Okay. I'll talk about that in the next one. Some of the comments that have been coming in on the channel, I absolutely love them. They talk about like some of the matchups that they go up against, and they're like, if it's this matchup, I just concede. And you know what? Normalize conceding. It's something I've heard from like EDH players on EDH podcasts. I think MTG Goldfish Tomer, I believe, he talks about normalizing conceding quite a bit, which I think is fantastic. You know, especially when you're playing EDH and you're like locked into a 4-player game. You don't really just want to like throw in the towel because, you know, you got 3 other people there and, you know, everybody's came out from different places and they want to play. And, you know, if somebody just like concedes on turn 2 or turn 3, it can kind of ruin the momentum of the game. But yeah, on Arena, like, hey, if your opponent's playing some nonsense, like just get out of there, right? You don't need to sit through this garbage. Whoa, light wheel enforcements. All right. We got a whole lot of nothing over here. Rock Curse Rakshasa. I desperately need an Abigale, by the way. Cool lands. But yes, Kavaro is my. If I'm not, you know, once I see it, it's going to happen. It's deterministic. They're going to flood out the board. Even if they don't have the dragon, the Terror of the Peaks, that's just going to automatically kill us. And we just move on with our lives and we don't have to worry about anything, right? Takes the Rot Cursed Rakshasa. That is an interesting take from the opponent, but we are getting hit for a lot of damage with this Ginger Brute. This thing is insane. It's a 7/5 Vigilance life linking Ward 2 flying creature, and we're just drawing nothing but lands. Oh man, the end of this video is going so horribly. I don't expect to be able to win this one. What a draw from the opponent's camp. Do they have the Shelter by Ghost, the final Shelter by Ghost? No. All right, well, they're still hitting us with a Vigilanced Ginger Brute. It hurts so much. We're down to 5. I got basically 1 turn. It's a Demon Wall. The Demon Wall is so bad. GG, opponent. Same thing here. We're just going to move on with our lives. We're going to play one more with the deck. Hopefully we don't crash and burn too badly in this last matchup. We're having fun. All right, as long as I've written down all my matches correctly, this is game number 10. We've lost 3, won 6. The last couple have been a little iffy. But you know what? We've been seeing some awfully interesting things coming out of the opponent's camp in this set of video. People, you know, some people playing the basic stuff, but then also a good number of opponents playing some very unique and novel things. And you got to appreciate that from time to time. Deep Cavern Bat, see what's in our opponent's hands. This opponent, this is an opponent who decided that they were going to trust the top of their library to give them a creature. The top of their library gave them a creature. Are they going to go for it this turn? They're putting damage on us. They are definitely putting some down. So I'm fine with this. Well, I'll take 7. It's okay. It's okay. 7 damage. Bring it in, bud. Bring it in. We are most certainly going to be using the Requiting Hex on this Lone Otter and praying that the opponent doesn't find another piece of another creature. If they do find one, we do have the Bitter Triumph. So we are going to be able to get rid of that. But now we get to put our Tragedy Feaster onto the field, get in for 1 point of damage, heal the ire of the Tragedy Feaster, and next turn we get to Bloodletter of Aclazotz for lethal damage if the opponent cannot find a way to stop it. That's an opt to the top. That might mean that we have to take... Okay, so... That's insane. That's insane. You know what we're doing, boys? We're sacrificing lands. That's what we're doing. We're sacrificing lands out here. I'm so glad we get to end this way. We get to hit the opponent for 14 points of damage. The Tragedy Feaster is furious about not lusting, getting the sweet taste of life. And the opponent scoops it up. We took down the... What do you want to call this? Grixis Fling deck, a very powerful deck, one that I want to actually play. I probably might actually play it in the next video. I'm not sure yet, but we get to take down that deck. They got greedy, didn't keep good things, and we got to see the Tragedy Feaster getting naughty and making us sacrifice our lands right at the end. What a video. All right, having a lot of fun with this Tragedy Demons deck. Actually, I had a blast playing this thing, and mostly because it does silly things. Whenever Tragedy Feaster is on the field, I'm having a good time. Whether or not I'm able to gain life or not, it doesn't really matter because this thing's a 7/6. And if you can get a Bloodletter to follow it up, man, you're putting a lot of pressure on the opponent. Where I think this deck probably doesn't really work is the Demon. The Demon Wall felt horrible. This card is just a little bit too fair. Yes, it is a good 3/3 blocker for 2 mana. That's not bad, but honestly, people either have evasion or bigger creatures, so this thing is really not doing much work. So as much as I love having the Abigale and the Rock Curse Rakshasa and the Demon Wall and the Tragedy Feaster, this is certainly not the way to build demons. There's better ways to build demons. Unfortunately, the sad thing is you just put the Furdock core into the deck and you probably just have an immediately better deck because your demon situation is covered. And also you can probably drop a land or two if you put 4 Furdock cores into the deck, because then you don't have to really worry about keeping the Unholy Annex condition met, and then your Tragedy Feaster is always going to be around gaining life as long as your Unholy Annex survives. So as far as like demons go, we actually don't have like a whole lot of choices in the color. I wish we had a 1-drop or a 2-drop demon. That would be really fantastic, but like right now we're kind of stuck doing the changeling thing. So that's why I think maybe the best way to go about playing demons is just like Golgari, and then you get access to your mutable explorer or your chomping changeling or whatever else. Or you could also just do the flash demon thing. I can't remember what it's called. The flash changeling is pretty good. I don't want to type in. Oh, that's not going to show me what I want to see, is it? Oh, it did. Mischievous Sneakling. This thing's probably just better than the Demon Wall, but it's just a 2/2. It's so... I want my demons to be bigger. Anyways, I had a good time playing this one. It's always fun to break out Abigale, and I think we did have some cool games where Abigale was showing her power, so you always like to see that. Anyways, if you have any recommendations for how to make demons work, or more importantly, how to make Tragedy Feaster work, I want to play more Tragedy Feaster because I think it's such an awesome card. Do let me know down in the comments. In general, let me know how you're doing. How'd your weekend go? Hopefully me climbing up a whole bunch of stairs to that temple actually happened, and maybe I'll have some pictures to pop up. We'll see, maybe not. It is what it is. Take care for now. Sarangi ipon na, and I will catch all you wonderful people in the next video. Bye-bye.